to This Also Happened. I'm Archit Seshadri with WION.
I'm Sana Khan, and we're here to talk about some of the worthy stories from South Asia that includes countries like Bhutan, the Maldives, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, along with, of course, India. We are headquartered in India.
In Delhi, of course. Yeah. So we came up with this idea. I think you guys have been seeing it on Twitter and Facebook, and it's showcasing some of the more positive stories that you don't always get to see. So it's if you guys have other stories that we missed, feel free to tweet us. We'll be happy to include them later on in the week. So we're trying to do this every day from 5 to 6. So please join us, and I guess we can join in. And of course, we're live on Periscope. So
it'll be more interesting as we have reporters in the field, because we keep getting you these stories. These stories might be small, but they're certainly impactful, and they go unnoticed, right?
Exactly.
Because like a place like Maldives, one would just expect it's a place of tourism, but a lot is happening.
A lot is happening, absolutely. And even for us, I feel like we get to learn about some of these places because we don't always see it in the mainstream media, and I think that's how we're trying to sort of be different a little bit, focusing on some of these South Asian countries and hearing the more positive stories. I know the last week when we did this, we had a lot of environmental stories, stories about economic development, education, so a lot of women empowerment stories as well. So more positive, upbeat stories that we don't always typically get to see in our bulletins.
Right. We encourage all the viewers to join in, like us, and to tell us what else do you want to watch, like what else would you like to see. So we can do that. We can probably focus on some region more than the other, if you will. If you have more viewership on a particular day from some place, then we can tailor make our...
Exactly. So we want you to kind of like come in, join in, be part of this conversation every day. So it's kind of like having chai or coffee, except you guys might be having chai. We're just giving you the stories. So,
absolutely. So what's the first story that we have?
We'll start with Afghanistan. So the first story is a sports-related story. So two Afghanistan national football players have actually been recruited by football clubs in Malaysia and Thailand. So we thought that was kind of interesting. They'll be playing, nearby. They were recruited, and this is one of the players joined, Mustafa Azargoy, his name. He joined Nara United. He'll be playing Division 2 football. The other one will be playing for the club later on, but there was a bit of an injury. But it's still interesting to see players from one country. Maybe they didn't get a chance to play there, but they're being recruited or getting the opportunity to go to nearby countries. So
it's quite interesting because even when the situation on the ground has been tense in Afghanistan, we do know that, and children over there, they really have
the ambitions, the goal to get out and do stuff just like everybody else.
Right, and football is something which has always been loved in Afghanistan. We've seen that in movies, we've seen that in pictures,
and this week too, right, with the championships with US, so certainly good timing for them. All right, what about Bangladesh? What do we have brewing out of there?
Bangladesh, another sports story. We have a golfer, Siddiqur Rahman, who's become the first Bangladeshi sportsman to enter the Rio Olympics and directly, as in, he directly qualified, which is something very tough. And he is a champion in Afghanistan. He's just 31 years old, and he's world number 308. So, Archit, with this, I think he'll have a good chance to up his rankings as well. He might not just win like the gold over there, but his rankings might just
go up, and he
would obviously bring laurels to his country.
And it's also interesting. We've been covering all these stories about some of these athletes dropping out of the Olympic Games with the Zika virus. So this is sort of interesting that he did qualify, and he's going to go represent Bangladesh.
So in that sense, the competition also might be less, because maybe some of the top golfers like Rory McIlroy, he's opted out. A lot of top golfers have opted out. So maybe he could.
His luck might be in his favor. So all the very best. We'll go next to Bhutan. So the health ministry there, the Department of Public Health has actually prepared a new kit, sort of educational wares for teenage pregnancies, to raise awareness for younger women and just provide them with some kind of guidance, what is important, giving them the tools and sort of the access so that there isn't a statistic or those statistics don't go up. Because certainly that affects the broader base economy as well. In your main schools, your main colleges, people might be aware, but those who don't get to school or college, who don't have those access, so the health ministry is creating this guideline specifically for teenagers. So a good initiative there for
That's great, because a lot of these places we just hear about, educating people about certain things, but here we're seeing action, which is great. Just talking about it, but but also doing something about
Absolutely.
it. We'd be interested to hear from people, from teenagers, as to what do they think. Do you think this is a good step? Are you for it, or you think that something else can be done?
Or how else could awareness be brought, especially to some of these countries where maybe it isn't as obvious, or maybe it isn't as, sometimes it's a taboo as well to be talking about it in school. So if you have other suggestions, or if you've heard of anything else, tweet us. I don't know if we have any comments right now, so I guess folks are still joining in, but do let us know.
Right. Now moving on to Maldives. It's a beautiful place.
You been there before?
Maldives. I haven't, but hopefully I'm planning to go
Hopefully so. Me
next
too.
year,
I haven't been there.
So, Chief Justice of Maldives, Abdullah Saeed, he has decided to host an open house media week, which is basically for closer ties with the media and encouraging the judiciary to award media more freedom. It's very, very interesting because recent developments in Maldives really call for something like this.
With some of the resignations and some of the outings, exactly.
Right. A newspaper which was 30, 35 years old was shut down suddenly, and there are a lot of questions as to why this happened. And as far as press freedom goes in Maldives, the situation isn't that great.
It's not, and it's very difficult in a lot of countries, but especially in a smaller country like the Maldives, having that open lines of communication, especially for the press. I know for journalists, having that accessibility is equally important. So this
absolutely, and it is essential because a lot is happening in Maldives and it needs to be reported. With the previous regime of President Qayyum, things were really bad in terms of press freedom. Then they did improve, but after the first democratically elected President Nasheed, Mohammed Nasheed, I think he is now in Britain in exile.
Right.
Things are going back to being bad.
So this will be hopefully help them out.
This seems like a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Nice. We'll keep moving right along. And again, we do have pictures as well, so we'll go back and forth with them. And we move to Nepal next. There's a woman, 64-year-old woman. She is now the first woman Chief Justice of Nepal. Her name is Sushila Karki. So
okay, there's this Cool Scope. He's asking us about the channel, so I think we should brief him about the channel. He's asking if this is a new channel.
The media one, the Maldives question?
No, I mean,
generally, okay.
Oh, sure. So what is We On about? Okay, good question from one of our viewers. What is the viewer's name? Or
Cool Scope.
Cool Scope. Okay, thank you for the question. We appreciate that. So We On stands for World is One News, WION. And it's part of the bigger parent company is Z Media, and they're launching, shortly. But I guess the premise of it is, think about it as CNN has such a strong foothold in the U.S., BBC has such a strong foothold in the UK, Al Jazeera in the Middle East. Yeah. So this is sort of Asia's turn to sort of get more global coverage. So it's not an Indian or domestic channel, but more based in India, but with reporters around the world.
Absolutely. And you can check out our website, WIONews, WIONEWS.com, to have a look at what are the kind of stories that we're covering, what are our reporters doing. That'll give you a better picture and good insight into what the media channel website is all about.
And it is exciting, I think, for having a global outreach in India, which we don't really see or we don't really have. I think that's definitely exciting. So that's what the channel, hopes to bring you all original content.
Achieve,
exactly.
Yeah.
So keep watching us, and we'll, I think, make the formal announcement of when we launch on television very shortly.
So thanking you guys.
We appreciate. Thank you for joining us and for the good question. So, okay, so we'll continue where we left off with Nepal. So again, a 64-year-old woman. She's now going to be the first Chief Justice there. What is interesting, though, there was a little bit of a controversy there. Her name is Sushila Karki. She had several complaints against her because she's a woman in power about some of the expenses, some of the assets that she had.
Right.
But she was actually freed from that because she had all the document evidence to prove it. So I think that also goes to show, we see a lot of people in power, and then there's always, preconceived notions about corruption and people embezzling money. And, this is maybe on the, you don't see these good examples of women who rise up, but at the same time are also able to prove that they are in it for the right reasons and have the documentation.
They deserve the position, and not just merely because, of some other reason.
Exactly, not bias, favoritism, or whatever. So, cool.
So we move on to neighboring Pakistan. So Pakistan Air Force has won the Concours d'Elegance Trophy at the Royal International Air Tattoo Show 2016 in Britain, which is great. And this is the second time Pakistan has won this. The first time they did bag this award was back in 2006.
Okay.
It's been 10 years
Decade,
now.
right? Yeah, exactly.
So here more than 2,000 aircrafts from 50 countries participated. So this is quite big. The Pakistani contingent stealing the show, and the aircraft that they featured and which won them this award is the C-130J Hercules 4-engine turboprop military transport aircraft. So
we have a picture of that?
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see it. There we go. So
yeah, we must take a look at the picture.
That's
and
the
they
one
apparently
that won.
painted it in different colors, and they had a whole theme to it, which really caught the attention of everybody at the air show, and they said, yeah, they should be given the award.
That's
so it's quite good.
Well, congratulations to them. Wonderful news indeed. After a decade, bringing back the prize.
Yes.
All right, so now 2 countries left. So Sri Lanka and then last in India. So we'll go to Sri Lanka first. So back in June, there was a pretty big fire. So around 800 houses in the army area in Salava, Kusgama, they were all damaged to this fire.
Yes.
So the Ministry of Defense decided to go ahead and rebuild that. So a lot of that reconstruction work has now started to restore some of the livelihood and the public facilities for the people who live there. So that is now ongoing. That project has been started about a month since that fire. So again, fixing those 800 houses for those people who pretty much lost everything in that fire. So
do we have any idea when the work will be complete?
I don't know if we have that just yet. I guess we'll have to just check with the Ministry of Defense. But again, do we have any pictures of the rebuilding effort? So there we go. So we can see some of that again. This is in Salawa, the Kusgama. A lot of the public facilities again were damaged, affecting the people who live in that district of Sri Lanka. So cool. All right. Last but not least, India, I guess.
India, yeah. Similar things happening in India related to infrastructure building. So the government has decided to put in about 658 crore rupees for big infrastructure projects, but aimed only at capital New Delhi.
Okay. So right here, right where we are.
Right here.
Okay.
Absolutely. So it is essential also because monsoons, like we are experiencing monsoon and
right now,
rains are. We often see that the roads are good, but clogging happens here and there.
And
so
you don't have to tell anybody twice about Delhi traffic.
Yeah, I know. So basically, for all the passengers who come to Delhi, to give them a better experience, they're going to construct new flyovers, better the national highways which are connecting Delhi to other cities, north, south, east, west. So that is good, but I really hope that I really want these roads to be so good.
It'll be like the model. We'll only, I mean, it's funny that the other day I think we went to from here to I think Connaught Place. So we're in Noida. I think it took more than an hour and 15 minutes, and it's not even that far.
Yeah.
So you can imagine when it's
for
rainy.
About 15 kilometers, you have to
90 minutes.
It's
insane. And then if you have bigger events here, you have bad weather. It all adds to it. So I think this infrastructure hopefully will alleviate that.
Will be nicer.
Absolutely. So there you can take a look at some of the pictures there. And we don't know the timeline yet, right? This is
we
sort
don't
of
know
an ongoing project.
Yeah, this keeps happening. The construction is always going on.
Right.
Everywhere.
I will say this though, like for me, being new to the city as well, the metro is phenomenal. So what they've done with the transportation infrastructure, I think, is wonderful for other cities to maybe emulate. Maybe this is the same thing on the road level.
Yes.
On for drivers.
Metro is coming up, but we'll talk about that later.
Right.
Hopefully, we'll have some infrastructure development story in the metro as well, because a lot of places in Delhi, outside of Delhi, in India, metro is coming up in a very big way.
Right.
So we will talk about that.
Continue those conversations, I guess. So.
Yes.
Any other questions? Anything else that we have from our lovely Periscope viewers? Anybody? If not today, you can ask us, I guess, tomorrow. We're here every day during the week.
Tweet to us.
Tweet us.
You can find a handle.
Yours is what?
You must log on to VioNews.com.
VioNews, WIONews.com.
Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel as well. We upload all our stories on our YouTube channel.
And then Facebook, of course, you can like the page. And obviously Twitter, we're pretty good about tweeting. And then Instagram as well. So we're on Instagram. So I think we're slowly getting on all social media platforms.
There is Vivek, he's asking about more details about the Pakistan plane news. About the award winning and everything.
Alright, we'll try to get you more details, but right now we do know that Pakistan Air Force participated. They were one of the participants amongst the other 50 countries that participated, and the team is already back, the people who were flying these aircrafts at the air show, and all the top army military chiefs have met with them and congratulated the team as well. Basically what Pakistan did was to showcase this Hercules Lockheed C-130J aircraft, and they painted it on a
multicolored, you said, right? Yeah, a lot of different colors.
On a different theme. I'm forgetting the name. The name of the theme, but
do you have a picture of the aircraft
or something? I think.
And this is interesting as well. That it says that there were more than 200 different aircraft. So 200 aircraft in 50 countries. So that's still pretty tough odds. Pretty,
Zarbi Az. Okay.
Zarbi Az.
Yeah. So that was it. So apparently they stood out of
Absolutely.
200 aircrafts. Pakistan's contingent made it show that their aircraft was the best, and they won the
Very nice.
competition.
Congratulations again. And then again, winning it after a decade, you said, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
2006 last time they won it again.
2016.
Right.
Absolutely.
So now after 10 years, they took home the prize. So that I think is it for us. That is a wrap for this also happened. And again, these stories will continue developing, and we'll be finding and digging and researching, and hopefully you guys will also share some stories. But thank you so much for joining in. And this is the first time I think we've had two anchors do this. So
It's
this
fun,
is fun.
it's fun.
Absolutely.
So we encourage you guys to log on every day. We'll keep tweeting you about the timings an hour before.
I think it's about 5 to 6 is what most people, when people are kind of getting done with work, and when we have a little bit of a break between the bulletins. So that's usually what we're aiming for.
So you can join us, you can write to us, you can request
Absolutely.
anything.
And if you have pictures, if you actually gone to some of these events, or you know a little bit more, for example, if you went to the air show or you went to some of these things, we would love to hear that as well, because we can show those pictures just like we do here, and then we do tweet them out for everybody else. And again, you can...
there's Vivek. He is requesting. I want one request. He's requesting a news. So let's see.
What is the question?
He just said that I want a request for a news.
Okay. So Vivek is clearly motivated and joining us. So thank you. We need more people like Vivek. While he's writing, I guess we'll also let you know, you're pretty active on Twitter. So
right.
What is your Twitter handle?
Sana_Vion, SANA_WION.
Okay.
So you guys can
Tweet.
follow me
Follow
on
you.
Twitter or tweet something interesting, some nice picture, some story that's happening around you, maybe where you stay, and we can look into that.
I think Aisha also is on Twitter. She's our other anchor who's gone home for the day. She was there earlier on in the day, and mine is Archit News. Same thing on Twitter. So we sort of want to make this interactive for you all to feel like you're part of this newsroom. It's a global newsroom. So we have journalists from not just here, but all around the world. So the more voices, the more diverse it is.
He
So.
wanted it.
We have a question from Vivek? No? He's done?
Okay, so
All
what
right.
we'll do is we'll catch up with everybody tomorrow.
Sure.
Approximately same time
Same
with
time.
a whole lot of news stories from South Asia. Till then, bye guys.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.